time to duel. I already saw an Asblot enjoy spring in Couch's hand, so he's already off to a good start. Going to be able to have that for a branded fusion. But it does look like
Couch is going first, which already gives him the advantage.
Now, Pot of Prosperity, an insane card in Kashtira. You can banish so many extra deck monsters that you will later be able to put under a Rise Heart to gain some bonus effects. Something like Infinite Track Goliath will be able to protect it from being destroyed by card effects since it is a machine monster. You can also throw things like Garura underneath it, so if your opponent does send your Rise Heart to the graveyard somehow, you'll be able to draw a card. And Tis is another one you can put under as well. So Pot of Prosperity has a lot of extra value on top of just being able to dig through your deck to get to Unicorn.
And since John isn't playing Kashtira, Dominic doesn't need to worry about the added vulnerability to Diablosis.
You hear John calling out the tech cards he's seeing off this Prosperity Frenzy. He says, I see Lance, I see Infinite Permanence.
Pressure Planet. Yep.
Pressure Planet writes off, hits the field. He gets to search for any Kashtira monster and add it to his hand. Off to a great start. He's getting the Unicorn, as is typical. Special summons it and activates its effect. I think we'll probably see him get Kashtira Theosis, unless he has it already.
Double check I don't troll in the finals.
Looks like he's going for Kashtira Birth.
Yep.
And he's using it to normal summon the Fenrir in his hand, then activating its effect to get a Kashtira Rise Heart.
So Couch already off to a strong start here.
Since he had the Fenrir, he didn't need the Kashtira Theosis, so it makes sense that he got the Birth.
Yeah.
Overlays for Shenga Ira, special summons Rise Heart from the hand. Rise Heart is going to banish Kashtira Big Bang while banishing the top 3 cards of John's deck face down. Then if he does banish Big Bang, he'll be able to detach the material from Shenga Ira and add it to the hand. And then if he chooses to, he gets special summoned to the field. But it looks like he's going to go for preparations instead.
Lock.
So since a card was banished face down, he gets to start to lock a spell in trap card zone. And since the card was banished face down, he can destroy a card in the field, going to target his own Shenga Ira to protect itself. So he gets to put the Fenrir into the graveyard.
He is going for the back row to lock down rather than the main monster zones. This is not the first time we've seen that this weekend against a branded Despia deck.
Now he's going to use the Kashtira Theosis to summon Kashtira Ogre. So now he's going to use a Rise Heart to... So the Ogre's going to add the preparation, a Rise Heart. There's the Garura that he banished off the Pot of Prosperity to put underneath the Rise Heart.
Very nice.
And he gets to add the preparations back to his hand.
We see some nice synergy there with Kashtira Theosis and the Rise Heart, since the Kashtira Theosis gets banished, since all cards that would go to the graveyard get banished by a Rise Heart, and then Kashtira Theosis' effect activates when it's banished, allowing him to return a card to his hand.
Yeah, that's why he banished that preparations. Really smart heads-up play from Couch. We saw him add Big Bang with the Ogre, so now he has preparations and Big Bang in the hand, and now he's going to summon Kashtira Scareclaw to banish the Big Bang he just added to his hand so he can use the Big Bang's effect. This is full combo from Couch. So the Big Bang detaches the Unicorn as the hand and special summons. And then the mandatory trigger will put another material under a Rise Heart.
We're about to see another rank 7. There's the Diablosis.
Birth brings back Fenrir, overlays for another Shenga Ira. He's going to lock out the zones. This is devastating for John.
So first, Diablosis will banish a card from the extra deck of Dominic's choosing face down. That will in turn allow him to lock 2 more zones, 1 for each Shangri-Era. And then Dominic will be allowed to use Diablosis' second effect to banish cards from the top of John's deck face down, equal to the number of his banished cards, face down banished cards, triggering the Shangri-Era's effect to lock the last 2 zones.
This is definitely a strong combo against the branded Despia deck. Gonna banish Rinbrum with the Diabolus.
This is Chainlink 1 mandatory. Chainlink 2, lock this zone. Chainlink 3, lock this zone. Chainlink 4, banish from the top of your deck.
And here goes all his spell and trap card zones.
4 more.
Can Branded Despia win without playing any spells or traps?
If they have Seer Mode in their deck, maybe, but unlikely since you need your normal summon. But yeah, he's going to need some sort of monster to deal with at least one of the Shangri-Iras to unlock some of his zones back.
Channeling 2 Shangri-Ira lock, channeling Shangri lock. Yep.
Yeah, this is where the decision comes where do you want to play cards in your hand that you can use on your opponent's turn. Something like Nibiru, the Primal Being, is impactful. Even an Infinite Permanence would help prevent this kind of field from happening, but if you don't have anything like that, he has to start his turn, no spell and trap card zones.
I didn't get nibbed.
Yeah, see, Kaz even said it. If you don't have Nib, you're losing your spell and trap card zones. But if you do have Nib, it's ridiculous. Like, it's really hard to come back from losing your whole board.
Yeah.
So, standby phase, Shangri-Ira is going to summon Fenrir from the deck.
Dang. Oh, my alarm on my phone is going off.
John can take a look at his hand. Anything purple or green in it, he can just ignore. Fortunately for him, it looks like there's quite a bit of it.
Okay. You can just hold on to my phone for now.
Couch doesn't need his phone. He's dueling. So he's going to normal summon a Luber.
That's fine.
I'm interested to see what he's going to get.
I don't think there's anything relevant he can get, since any spell he takes, he can't activate.
How you looking, game 1 cancel? All right, me too. Silverman's probably going to lose. Fenrir?
Yes. Goes for Branded in red. Fenrir's effect just banishes the Luber face down.
New chains. Chain like 1. Chain like 2. Lock.
Here goes the monster
lock.
zones.
That's now 7 zones he can't use.
That's about to be 9, I think.
Will you banish? And then
I want to see them all. This was on my checklist to see all the zones get locked out. He's close.
Or 9.
I like that John's letting it happen, too. I want to see it happen. He could have conceded probably some time ago, but he's like, nah.
They play Gold Sark for whatever that's worth, Alex.
Just let him know about the interesting text they're using.
And then, res, bang, bang.
Bang, bang. 9 zones locked out. He has 1 monster zone, 1 extra monster zone remaining.
They also play Ash cancel. You hear me? Cancel, you hear me? They also play Ash.
Yeah, so I would suggest maybe if you're going into a team YCS, not playing the same decks as your teammates, because giving that information could be pretty key to the help the other teammates. Are you going to concede?
I won game 1. I think that was game. I won game 1.
1 zone short of seeing them all go, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
We almost saw all 10.
Dimension Shifter. All right.
Oh.
It's a good card against Despia Branded because you cuts off stuff like the Beastal Lubellion, but you can still use Branded Fusion. You do get the effects when things are banished still, like Despian Tragedy, Tri-Brigade McCourier. It's not great. Oh, but he has Called by.
Good enough for John to use Called by the Grave to banish it and stop its effect. Oh, the crowd's going wild for that one.
Yeah, it seems like Dimension Shifter, not a popular card.
I was just going to say, I feel like it's because it's Dimension Shifter. People are happy to see it stopped.
Now here comes the Luber. Does Dom also have an Ash Blossom? He had to use the Call by the Grave. Oh, and it does look like Alexander did win game 1. So now if Alexander and Couch both win this game, they win the whole tournament. All right, a Luber adds.
Oh, a Luber for Branded Fusion, but Couch has Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring.
So the Shifter definitely doing his job.
Oh, man.
Do you think John would be in a better position if he allowed the Shifter to resolve and used?
Go ahead.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
resolving, being able to just be able to get some sort of effects. The only difference is he would have more monsters.
Well, actually, the problem is then he can't. He could still use Ash Blossom, right, with Shifter active?
Oh, but he can't call by it. Yeah, that's
so
right.
So it actually doesn't matter.
So the Shifter just ruined everything
for
John.
The Shifter, even if it resolved, it would have been ruined. But now Dominic's back in the driver's seat, and he's starting with Kashtira Unicorn, which is exactly where he wants to be. We don't know John's face-down card yet. We don't know if he has any points of interaction in his hand, but he's definitely going to need some.
All right, Unicorn comes down. Unicorn adds Kashtira Birth to the hand. Next up, Couch is going to reveal Kashtira Rise Heart. Since he controls a Kashtira, he can special summon it. He's going to be able to banish a Kashtira card from his deck and banish the top 3 cards of John's deck face down. And it turns Kashtira Rise Heart into a level 7 monster. He goes to banish Fenrir, so I imagine he's going to be looking to summon that with Kashtira Birth that he just added.
I was going for you, John, so I want to share.
Last time he took birth, he had Kashtira Theosis. You think he has it again?
For John's sake, I would hope not.
Looking pretty good.
Old Couch already said it's looking pretty good.
There's the birth.
That's fine.
He's using it to special summon Kashtira Fenrir. That puts 3 level 7 monsters on his field. Fenrir's effect activates.
Adds Kashtira Ogre.
He's not allowed to say, even if he sees.
Normal.
Oh, that's true.
So he's going to use Kashtira Birth to normal summon Ogre, goes to battle phase, attacks with Fenrir.
Attack. Activate effect.
Target?
So banishes the Aluber. This could be enough for game. Unless John has, branded opening. He's going to try and survive.
Not quite as good as Mirror Force here, but
Mirror Force would have been pretty nice.
can't expect him to have Mirror Force. So branded opening will resolve.
Discard Spurgian's Kit. See if he goes to special summon another copy of Aluber. Yep, Aluber's effect is going to add a branded Speller Trap from the deck to the hand.
I'm gonna birth.
Oh, so Birth is going to be able to banish Branded Fusion, Branded Opening, and the Spurgian's Kit face down, since John activated a spell card.
We get Bandit Fusion.
Yeah.
So John does have another branded fusion for next turn. And it looks like he probably will survive this one.
Channeling 1 unicorn, channeling 2 ogre.
Sure.
That's top 5. Every deck.
Ogre's an interesting card because he gets to look at the top 5. Banish 1 face down, but keep the rest there in the same order. So it's only particularly useful if the top card is the best of the 5 for your opponent to draw, and in this case it was.
And he wants him to draw that Gimmick Puppet. The Gimmick Puppet is the next card that's coming up.
That's right, yeah.
This game is looking pretty over. Going to take a moment to look through John's extra deck to pick for Unicorn to banish face down. He looks like at Iron Dash, one of my favorite Fallen All Baz fusions, probably hinting why John may play that Spurgian's Kit, because you can send down Iron Dash with the Dusk Dragon, and then in the end phase, summon the Spurgian's Kit and do a whole turn during your end phase, essentially.
Redeclare.
Yeah.
The attack continues for
I
Fenrir,
think I'll go.
15,
Yeah.
28 and 25, 68, leaving him at 1,200.
John's in a tough spot. We know he's not drawing anything helpful. He does have branded fusion.
So you're at 12.
Yeah.
Dominic enters main phase 2. He's going to see how he can best pin down John's plays. Doesn't look like Dominic actually needs to do much to seal this
Yeah.
victory.
Yeah.
Base 2, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, goes for the red eyes.
Oh, wow. So since it's only at 1,200, there's only going to be so many cards you can activate. It works like a Masquerade the Blazing Dragon, sort of. Wow.
I forget how much life points.
500, I think. It's either 500 or 600, but I think it's 500. But he has Nibiru. He has Nibiru.
Oh,
it's
that
not over
was
yet.
what he needed.
I still put the 5, right? It doesn't.
Okay, it's 500.
Resolution.
Oh, so it's not like Masquerade, so he's going to do it at the resolution. Nibiru's going to tribute all the monsters. This could be John's chance to jump back into this game. It's not over yet.
Wow, that red eyes was the 5th monster.
And his last card in hand is that Branded Fusion.
Since the red eyes is off the field before
Wow.
its effect would resolve, the John doesn't lose those life points.
Yep, and now Branded Fusion coming down. Couch can't stop it. This is John's chance to jump back into this game that looked almost unwinnable.
I think Dominic was contemplating just ending his turn on those 4 summons and 4 face-up monsters, and he might be kicking himself right now for not doing it. But
It's tough.
that red eyes was tempting because it really just restricts the number of cards your opponent can even use. With only 1,200 life points left, it was basically a finisher.
Yeah, with only 2 cards in the opponent's hand, Yeah, it's a tough call. Because Nibiru is pivotal, though. But we keep talking about Nibiru. If you're struggling against Kashtira, Nibiru is your best answer to it most of the time. They can play around it by just summoning 3 monsters and overlaying for the Ice Heart on 4 summons. But if you're worried about losing all your zones, Nibiru, the Primal Being, is the cards you're going to want to look for to add into your main deck or side deck.
How you looking, Alex? Alex's game two's looking good. Mine is his last card in hand I didn't know was Nibiru.
Sounds like Silverman is not having a good time, if I could hear him correctly. And now, yep, John is going to use Branded Fusion to send down Blazing Cartasia and Albaz to summon Albion.
Silverman may not be winning right now, but I bet he's having a great time.
I'm sure he is. Next up, Albion is going to use its effect to banish materials from the field, hand, or graveyard to fusion summon. Banishing Albaz, and is that a Luber? I believe it is. And he's going to make, yeah, it is a Luber. It's a dark, so he's going to make Lubellion to discard that gimmick puppet. So he can fuse for Mirror Jade. If Couch doesn't have anything, this is game.
We're about to find out.
Yep.
Mirror Jade's effect activates.
Going to banish the token.
Gets that out of the way.
He's checking to see if it can attack, and indeed can attack. Lubellion can't attack, but Albion can. So that's 3,000, 3,000, 28, and a game that looks
Once again, Dominic opens with the Unicorn.
Special summons Kashtira Unicorn. It's the strongest start in the deck. Going to be able to grab a Kashtira spell. Goes for Kashtira Birth. That card has been so impactful this weekend.
He activates the Birth, allowing him to normal summon Fenrir without tribute. He uses Fenrir's effect, but now gets ashed.
And that'll trigger Unicorn's effect since he used a monster effect to banish from the extra deck.
You think that's a better card to ash than the Unicorn itself?
I'm not certain. I mean, maybe he's just wanting to keep him off of Rise Heart. He did get all his zones locked out, sorry, Rise Heart. So maybe he thinks if maybe I could ash, he wouldn't have access to Rise Heart. If he doesn't have access to Rise Heart, that's less cards he can banish. And the Rise Heart also, gets the traps from the deck or a monster you want to add back. So he's just trying to prevent Rise Heart from coming out. But unfortunately for John, Couch has a copy of Pressure Planet Raso, so he's able to still get that Rise Heart despite the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring.
It's a pretty good hand for Dominic.
Yep, and here comes the Rise Heart after overlays for Shingaira. He's going to be able to take the top 3 cards of John's deck, banish them face down. Let's see what he decides to banish.
Let's go.
All right. So one player has already won their match now for Team Back for Second. So if Couch wins this game, they are the Team YCS champions.
Lock this zone and pop my guy.
He's going for the back row once again. John is down to just 4 spell and trap card zones that he can use.
Silverman did even out the series, though, against Ryan Yu, so he also has Silverman that has a chance to win and win it for the team as well. So even if Couch loses here, Silverman could still hold it down. That would be epic if it was up to Silverman to win it all for the team.
That would be pretty awesome, but if just John and Ryan win one more duel, they'll take the match.
Rise Heart, channeling 2.
So Theosis is going to add back Sclera Claw, Kashtira. Rise Heart's going to attach the Theosis. Ogre's going to add a trap from the deck to the hand, a Kashtira trap specifically. That's going to be Big Bang. We saw this play in game number 1. It is a strong play for sure, because you get to banish that Big Bang from your hand to special summon the Scareclaw Kashtira he just added. And then Big Bang's going to activate. So will the Rise Heart mandatory. And I think, did he use the Pressure Planet to destroy Shingaira? Either way, he's summoning back the Fenrir from the Big Bang. He's going to overlay with the Scareclaw Kashtira and the Rise Heart. I'm going to use Birth back on the Unicorn. He's going to overlay for another Shingaira. He's going to overlay for Diabolus. He's going after all his spell and trap card zones yet again.
4 more zones are gone.
We saw John with the Nibiru. Maybe he still has the Nibiru. He could wait to use Nibiru.
He could, because he still has the monster card zones.
He ashed me. He wouldn't ash me.
But Diablosis is going to get rid of 1 card from the extra deck face down, locking up 2 more zones with the Shingri-Iras. And then Diablosis' second effect will banish cards from the top of John's deck, locking up the last 2 zones with the Shingri-Iras.
Yep.
right?
Got to banish the equal amount of your banish cards. Think the Diabolus, and that's going to trigger 2 more Shanghai Ira's. He's going to have to attach for the Arise Heart.
2, 3, or 2, 3.
3.
Yeah.
There's goes.
It's looking like Nibiru or bust here.
Oh, that's a Nibiru from his face down top of the deck.
So there's one Nibiru Gun does not
no.
have.
He doesn't have the Nibiru.
No, you're good.
Okay, I'll activate Shanghai Ira.
So if you're watching at home and you're worried about this, you might want to think about including monster effects from your hand that you can use during your opponent's turn. So maybe you can't wait for a Book of Eclipse. You might want to consider using Nibiru's Infinite Impermanence, something to stop your opponent, because you can Infinite Impermanence the Diabolus, and you're going to keep at least a couple of your extra monster zones. But no Nibiru in sight, no spell and trap card zones. I don't see John winning this. We're moments away from crowning our Team YCS champions. Back for seconds, indeed.
2 of them are against Alex.
I think so.
I don't know. He's sighing. I think that's a good sign.
Yep, that's it.
I-
That's it.